Welcome to Soulfire Wisdom with Kate Olson. As an evolving spirit and change adventure navigator, it is Kate's mission to empower and guide you on your path and inspire your truest passions. She will encourage you to share your gifts, speak your truth, and ignite your inner wisdom and purpose. She hopes to do so with a little humor and grace and her own soulfire passion. Kate talks with amazing guests who have embraced the pursuit and are fanning the flames of their own passion, purpose, and soulfire wisdom. Now here's your host, Kate.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Soulfire Wisdom and Tips, Tricks, and Triumphs Tuesday. So my triumph for this week is that I think I'm pretty much moved into my new place after a little over a year since I put my last house on the market. Everything's put together, everything's put away. I think there'll probably always be those little details or changes, but I think I finally am feeling moved in. So that's a big accomplishment. I mean, all the pictures are on the wall. I'll have to tell you, that was one of the, like the biggest comforts that I had was, finally getting all the art and stuff up on the walls so that, it looked like I really lived here. So we have a great show planned for today. My guest is Emily Lewis, and Emily is a singer, songwriter, producer, and truth seeker living in Soquel, California. She creates her music with different genres of music or in different genres. Including what she calls indie dream folk, downtempo electronica, medicine music, and lullabies. So Emily believes in the power of sound and that music can transform and inspire. She hopes that her music will take you into a deeper feeling state and give you permission to heal, transform, and express your inner goal. So I actually met Emily about 4 years ago in 2017. About the same time of year, a little bit later in April, when we both went to a speaking event in San Diego. And I went with a friend who I'd done my life coach training with. And Emily was, she was called up to the stage, and she was asked to sing. And she started singing, and my friend whispered to me, he said, "I think I know her. I recognize that voice. I think I know her." And it turned out that they had gone to high school together. So that is how I met Emily. And I'm so happy to introduce her now. Hi, Emily. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Nice to be here.
So to get started, can you tell the listeners a little bit more about your background and what led you to your current path?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've been kind of singing and playing music in one form or another since I was really young. I've been in bands since I was, 17. Kind of off and on. And so music has really been like the solid through line that's, the consistent kind of creative expression, form of creative expression that I've, always kept kind of running alongside anything else I'm doing in my life. So yeah, I currently do have a full-time job, but I'm also still actively producing music. And before the pandemic hit, I did have a band that I had put together, and we were about to start playing shows live. So that's been put on pause. But yeah. So I just yeah, we'll always be making music in some form or another. And then I also have my master's degree is in integrative health with a focus in sound healing. So I really believe in the power of the frequencies and the power of sound to actually really help shift and transform the states that we are in. So yeah, coming at it from that angle as well.
So, how besides curtailing your band plans, how has the last year impacted your music and creative process?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess on the downside, our band had to not start playing shows because everything, closed. It was actually that week that we were scheduled to play our first show was when the lockdown started. So yeah, put a pause on the band, but that allowed me to really kind of take up this other project, which is producing electronic music. And I have, I've been writing electronic music for a long time. I just never really put it out professionally. So in a way, what this last year has allowed me to do was work with really kind of high level musicians and producers that would normally be touring or normally be out. They'd be out on the road, they'd be playing shows. But since they were, since they weren't, I was able to connect with multiple people that are really kind of key people on the album, on the EP that I'm putting out right now. So so that was kind of a blessing. And I was able to, it's like a lot of the musicians didn't have that income coming in. So it was actually helpful, like I was able to kind of like support them in a different way and in the production capacity.
So, tell us a little bit about the creative process that you go through to create, and basically how the magic happens.
It's all, let's see, it's all kind of, it's different. Like it changes from song to song. Some songs like come in really quickly and maybe I'm on a walk in nature and I get inspired and I start just like singing something inspired by where I'm at. And it will, like, some songs kind of come in as like a complete song, and then other ones I have to like kind of work and massage for a while. So but I write a lot. Like I write not just songs, but I blog, I'm a poet, I'm writing a screenplay. Like I write and I journal. So sometimes what happens is bits and pieces of like me journaling might turn into like, ooh, that's a cool line for a song. And then that will be the inspiration for the song. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, you kind of mentioned this already, but maybe you can elaborate a little. You collaborate on some of the music that you do. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer the collaborating or going solo?
Well, I I think, I don't know if I've done, so I did actually record, this is kind of a sad story, but the solo album that I recorded back in 2011, it was just me on guitar and vocals. And that particular recording session, something happened with the equipment, and so all of the music, like the album was done, and all of the music got, like, basically there was no backups. So that whole album that would have been just me and my guitar and my harmonies, just never got exposed to the world.
Ah,
So
okay.
I had to, like, after that happened, because, you know, to work through all the, like, creative, to work through all the blocks, like the inner blocks, in order to get the songs down and recorded, was like, it was a very big deal for me at the time. And, you know, so this is now 10 years ago. So after that album, like, didn't ever get the light of, didn't get, you know, put out, because it got basically lost. I had to take a little bit of time to, like, recover from the shock of that. And I just didn't have it in me to start again right away. And so that would have been the only time that I did an album completely by myself. Like, I'm always collaborating with people. So to answer your question in a long-winded way, I really love to collaborate. I think that, you know, I have a lot of the initial, like, I get the songs out and I get the structure and the bones and the melody, but, you know, there are producers like Lynx, who I worked with on this upcoming EP, is an amazing, not only producer, but she's also a multi-instrumentalist. So she was able to take my songs and bring it to, like, a whole other level. You know, she's a professional, like, recording artist, and you know, she's had bands forever. And so yeah, there's a certain amount of ways that, you know, collaborating is just, yeah, that's, and same with when I was in Sweet Medicine with Naya, you know, our harmonies together were, like, you know, magical, right? So that you can't do those harmonies by yourself. I mean, I do the harmonies.
That's hard.
Yeah. So I would say, yeah, I love collaborating. Yeah.
So, what do you like better? Do you like that creative process when you're producing a song or an album, or do you enjoy the performing part better?
You know, honestly, like, I love being in the studio. If I could just get paid to record and be in the studio, like, I would do that. I love it. I love
Okay.
I love recording. I love documenting, you know. I'm a scribe, so I love to, like, write everything down and record everything. So I really love that process. The performing has been I would say that's my Achilles heel, because I had to work through so much stage fright and anxiety. I think that was part of why Tiamo brought me up on the stage that day, because he knew that that was my thing. Like, he knew that that would be the thing I was most terrified of doing, is going up, singing improv on the spot in front of hundreds of people with no planning.
Oh, you did it beautifully, though.
Oh, thanks.
Hello and everything.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, but he called me out, you know, and so I think I lost track of your question.
Oh, you answered it already. And I totally agree with you. I love the creative process. Sometimes after the thing is created, like, I especially know this about businesses. that because I'm a serial entrepreneur, that sometimes I really love the creative process of creating the business. And then when it comes down to the day-to-day of running it, it's like,
Yeah. Well, but when there's definitely like after I play a show, during too, but like that feeling of like after playing a show is amazing. Like I'm enjoying it while I'm doing it once I get over that anxiety kind of like hill. But yeah, I mean, so there's like magic in all the moments, you know.
yeah. There's sort of a magic in accomplishing something that you were really afraid of, like, that's why we were both at that, seminar. So
Yeah. Yeah, to like push yourself and that, so there is actually like the studio I'm safe in, but the stage is way more unpredictable and scary for me, and there's a greater reward after I do it, so it's yeah.
So, how does an indie artist survive these days? And how can people support you?
Well, I mean, I'm surviving because I have a day job. I know that a lot of my musician friends had to really kind of become more creative and find other creative ways to make money, you know. I, one of the things that I'm kind of one of the areas that I'm going into is, so I'm part of a group called the Alchemical Sisters, and it's a group of women that we haven't launched our website yet, but it's basically going to be a space where we inspire each other. Like we have our music on that website, and then we're also like going to start amplifying other women's voices and other women's music. And one of the areas that, financially is a good place to, if you can get your music placed and synced and, licensed in TV and film, like that is, that's one of the areas that I'm moving into, that I'm interested in, in terms of like getting money from Spotify plays, like you have to have so many plays in order to get, they just don't pay the indie musicians like what they should, so the like pop stars get, a fair amount of income from Spotify and from streaming, but somebody like me that doesn't have like a massive following is not really seeing income from that. I will qualify that by saying Bandcamp is a really great site. They take the smallest percentage, and so and they do their Bandcamp Fridays, I think it's called, and where the musician gets the all of the money that was donated or that was contributed for the album or the singles. So yeah, I can't, I can't really, I could say Bandcamp is one of the better ways to go if you put your music on there. And I just changed over to DistroKid as my distribution company. So I have yet to see kind of how that compares to CD Baby, but yeah, it's, there's a lot on the horizon. There's different companies that they're very, they see what's going on in the music industry, and they know that something has to change, where like Spotify and Pandora and all of those companies, they're not actually created by musicians. They're created by tech people that are not musicians. Yeah. And so they don't understand, they're not coming from it where musicians are. So there are other organizations that are getting started right now that are addressing that issue.
So you recently released a new single. What is that single, and what's it about?
Well, so I released Raining Fire last month, and then I released Melting this month. So I'm not sure when this is going to air, but let's just say that there are two singles.
Air this month.
Okay, yeah. So so Raining Fire came out in February, and Melting came out in March, and then in April is going to be Spinning Around, which is then the full EP with these 3 songs is going to come out at the end of April.
And what's that one called?
So the EP is called Return to Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and this grouping of these 3 songs, really they're about just heart opening and awakening and deepening into the mystery.
So what inspired you to go in the new direction you have with your music? The what did you call it? The indie folk or indie dream folk?
Well, oh, you mean I think I'm going to always continue to do the indie dream folk, but this, the more kind of electronically produced music is something that I've always wanted to do, and I just really didn't put it on the front burner. So I just, as someone who really likes to dance and go to festivals, and I've got a lot of friends who DJ, I just, I hear that music and I'm like, I want to make this music, like, and
Okay.
and it's, so I wanted to make dance music and down-tempo electronica that has really deep lyrics, and I felt like that was something that I was really longing to hear, and so I'm creating it.
Okay. So what do you want listeners to be able to get out of your music? What
I think the main thing is I would love for people to feel impacted in some way, and maybe it's inspired, maybe it's to elicit deeper feeling states, and to know that it's okay to feel to feel emotions, to feel all the feelings that you're feeling, and to know that that's okay, and everything changes, every emotion and situation changes, and so
okay. So what's next for your music and for you?
So I mentioned it before, but I am writing a screenplay, and as part of that, I am writing the soundtrack. And so that's once I release these singles, and there's more kind of space to focus on the screenplay. I'm doing that. And once things open up, I would love to start playing shows again, and then also, the Alchemical Sisters. This, we're gonna be launching our website, and so I can, I'll definitely I'll keep you posted on that. And I just wanna see people again and be out there and feel community, feel how music, helps bridge community, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everybody. So
Yeah.
do you have a goal of having music be your main, you know, what you do with your life, or do you think you'll keep on having your day job?
I think, well, it's kind of cool because my work is very supportive of my music. They know that I make music, and they're really supportive of it. You know, I think that the conference that I met you at, where it was to do these speaking, you know, I think that's like one of the things on the horizon for me to be doing larger speaking engagements where I'm able to do the music, but also like more kind of performance art. So that's something that's I don't know where that's going to go yet. So we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, you know, if my work does joke, they're like, once you put this song out, make sure you release the new toothpaste before you put this song out, because you're gonna get famous. And I'm like,
Okay.
I don't know. So they joke about it, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of I love my company, and they're like my family, and yeah, so we'll see.
Okay. So this is kind of an off-topic question, but I've been asking all of my guests for a while. So, what has surprised you most about life so far?
What has surprised me most about life? It's a good question. It's not what I thought it was gonna be. I would say that what surprised me is that it's still surprising. Like I think, oh, I'm this age, oh, there's not gonna be any new things, but the way that, like, as somebody who's on a conscious path of awakening, and the the way that I experience life continues to change and evolve. So that's been really very interesting to notice.
Okay, that makes sense. So, if you could leave the listeners with one thought from today's show, what would you want that to be?
Well, the first thing that popped into my head was like, follow your joy, follow the breadcrumbs of joy.
Okay, I totally agree and support that. so, so if listeners wanted to get in touch with you or find your music, how would they do that?
So the easiest way is just to go to my website. It's emilymaylewis.com. So EMILYMAYLEWIS.com. And that'll take them to they can get to my YouTube station or all the different things from there.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for being here today and talking. It was good to catch up with you and find out what you're doing.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay. So I have a quote for the listeners to take with you through your week, and it is about that creative songwriter process. So it's therapy, it's fun, it's creative. I love getting on a big writing binge and staying up for a couple of days working on a song and knowing at the end of those 2 or 3 days that I've created something that was never in the world before. And that was said by Dolly Parton. So So I want to thank the listeners for listening today. And we have another great show planned for next week. Next week, my guest will be Rayanne Hall. And Rayanne, she is amazing. She does quite a few different things. She hosts a networking group. She has a foundation. She's an author. She's a coach. And recently she started her own podcast called The Optimistic Choice. And that's what we're going to talk about, what inspired her um, to start that and what it's all about. So join us next Tuesday, 3 p.m. And I'm just going to say bye for now. Bye, Emily.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Soul Fire Wisdom with Kate Olson. We hope you enjoyed the show. If we made you laugh, brightened your day, or sparked a new thought, we have succeeded in our mission. Join us next time when we'll share more secrets and truths and all the magic of transformation that is the journey to Soul Fire Wisdom. Always remember, be fierce in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire.